I saw the market correctly, which is important. Like I didn't execute, so like being able to see it's one thing, execution's another thing, right? Like we took the high here. I called the SFP on my live stream. Uh, I called a whole bunch. Like I called the sweep here. I didn't take the trade here. Didn't take the trade here. Uh, so that's fine. I did take the second trade here for 500 and I got stopped out. I believe. Was it this one or this one? I think it was this one. Yeah, I took this one here. So I took this one for 500 and then I took one down here and I closed it up here for another like 400 or something like that. Uh, so I haven't had like a very busy trading day. Um, it's been pretty slow. Like I waited all throughout all of this, only to take a couple of trades in here. However, in this environment, it's important to be patient. I mean, we have the jobs data is going to be very important going forward. We got that right here. So like you're not really looking to enter a trade right here. Top of the orb rejection, rotation down to the bottom of the orb, reclaim of orb trying to push back up. Very, very key resistance in here. Trend is down right now. Okay, so we are literally in this big flag coming down here. Okay, trying to see where the bottom is. However, we know we have tons of liquidity below us, right? So really just trying to be prepared that way, right? For me right now, I am looking lower, 90,000. However, we are, so like if we're looking this generally and how we can see it here, I like to separate into ranges, right? So we can see in here, we can see that there's, this lower part and this upper part here. So this would be a defined range, right? That we have started trading in, right? And we got, overextended into this range here. So for me, a retest to the highs, right? Like the Wyckoff thing you shared yesterday, a retest into here to continue would be best. However, we should be aware of the spring possibility before we go up, right? We should be aware of this Wyckoff spring coming for this low. I like this low. Okay, you don't hear me say that a lot, OC, but I do like this low. Normally, I'm like this got to be effing taken, right? Normally, I don't like lows because it's very rarely that you have a significant low. What I like about the low is the volume in it. Okay, there's good volume in this low here. However, New Year's pump, right? There's typically an allocation of New Year's. You got to think about it. Everybody in here at the end of December and November, we didn't have a rally, but we consolidated for 50 days here before pushing, right? So everybody here is making a decision whether to tax loss harvest, right? So if there's any losses, they're getting out here. Then you come back into the start of the year. Funny enough, on the I believe it was literally the 31st. Yeah, the 31st we start taking off, right? Which means that people are taking this money that they saved and redeploying, right? So the redeploying, in my opinion, has stopped now. Do they want to continue? Right? That is the question, right? Now it's time to say, hey man, we've allocated. Are we going to continue to allocate? Are buyers going to continue to step up here, right? So need to be aware of that, but also it's like we have some volatility, which is good, right? Overextended, clear liquidity below us. So in my opinion, we're looking for strength. We're looking for bottoming structure. We're starting to get it here. I do like this SFP. Okay. However, in order to really validate this, right, I would be looking for this momentum to be lost. I would look for us to break this high and come back in and retest. That would be a nice little retracement here because we can easily put a regression trend tool on here and pull that out, and we can see we're flagging out and consolidating down. The issue is you got to be prepared for this, guys, because there's so much liquidity in all these lows. You can turn on your chart prime indicator here and see where all the liquidity is. But because there's so much liquidity in these lows, it's that if price wants to rotate back down, it's going to be very cascading, which means it can happen very quickly, right? You take the stairs up, you take the elevator down, right? So just be aware of that. So be sure if you are getting long in this environment, right, you must be pretty stingy with your risk, in my opinion. So be aware of that. And that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin. With Solana, I like Solana a little bit better here. Solana's 136 is a very big line in the sand for me. So if we can, and we never took these highs. Okay, so we never took these highs up here for Solana. We've had that nice push as well. Okay, so for me right now, Solana has a lot of support in this area here. Right, so this is more bullish if we can find some bottoming in here. For me, it's about patience right now. I would like to see 136.81 reclaimed and then pushed out. We have nice downtrending momentum here. Okay, so that's I'll be literally just waiting for any sort of macro trades. I'm looking for this to break. One thing that looks good to me, is weird as it is fucking XRP right now. You'll never hear me say this shit, but I'm saying it today, okay? Because XRP has flipped here, so we're in.
It took me a year
You can't
for
believe
you to like XRP.
Can't you believe how long did it fucking take, bro? I fucking hate XRP. Bro.
Dude.
It took you so long. You finally cracked me, bro.
I finally cracked you, bro.
Don't make me start. I'll get you FOMO on Ethereum, bro. Don't get me going.
Fucking Ethereum,
You
man.
fucking love Ethereum, bro. You love Ethereum. Oh man, too funny. You want Vitalik.
Guys, just
He's Canadian, eh?
there's a lot of this. Yeah, it's Canadian, by the way. It's Canadian. Canadian made one of the best things ever out there in the world, especially business, guys. I mean, take that from what it's worth. Not promo, but the best rated out there. Look at that, Canadian, right here. The other way, right here, right. One of the best crypto services, and this is no promo paying, and I'm not sending you to buy anything, it's Lend. And they survived the 3-hour capital, they survived all the bear market without flinching. I had like 20% of my Bitcoin there on the bear market, and I didn't lose a penny. So, Canadian service also. I don't know, man. Canadians are with businesses, bro.
Okay, we did Shopify too. That's a Canadian business too.
Nice.
Vitalik's always looking at schlong, right? If you open up a trade long and short, you can make money on Ethereum because it's so shit.
Oh shit.
I hate Ethereum, but it's just too choppy for me. If you're a swing trader, okay, it's a bit different, but scalping, it's absolutely horrible. Okay. But yeah, XRP is in an area of Confluence that I do like. I've been keeping my eye on her. She's back in town, okay? And XRP does pop sometimes, chop and pop, right? So look at the macro level we have reclaimed here, right? So it was down below here, but look, we're back range bound, right? So bottom of the range, looking to push out, right? Could potentially push, right? And then if we're going to get mega bullish, right, it could turn into something very, very lucrative. I mean, look at the stiletto pattern here too, bro. Perfect. Perfect stiletto pattern into continuation. You even had a second one down here for bottoming structure. So, I mean, it's there, but something I'd just be watching cautiously. Can't believe you made me look. I did.
Oh, we lost him. I bet he just clicked the wrong button.
I just rage quit, bro.
Let's go. All right. I was not able to beat you. I was not able to beat you on.
I'm not on hackers anymore. Don't make me quit the morning show too. Don't threaten me.
Come on. I know you like it. Oh man, so much fun. Sorry, you were saying a beautiful stiletto pattern, and that's what he cut out.
Yeah, and beautiful stiletto pattern in macro area, right? So like macro support, big range here. So potential for this. Not saying it's gonna pop right now, but there's potential here. Like this is one of my ideas in here. It's looking obviously XRP's moved up quite aggressively, right? But coming back into here and holding might be a good opportunity for potential long. I mean, it has pushed quite aggressively, and this is a big macro range. So for me, it's always interesting to see if we can hold here and push out. Yeah, so looking okay. Bitcoin right now, rolling over a little bit here. Still looks, it's a very ugly head and shoulders here, but there is a head and shoulders here if you want to draw it. So a measure move does bring you right back down into that horrible range. So caution here on Bitcoin too, guys. Caution here. That's what I'm really looking at right now, but rotation down. Humble pie. We're not out of the woods just yet. That's kind of where I'm at. What about you, OC? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at a
Besides
render.
Ethereum, man. You love Ethereum.
Oh man, fuck Ethereum, by the way. I see a lot of new faces. Just if you don't know, well, Alex used to hate XRP, but I used to like
still
in a
do.
way. What is it?
I still hate XRP. I don't mind taking money though from Brad Garlinghouse, man. You have a picture on your desk of Brad Garlinghouse.
Oh, and that one picture of Vitalik too, man. Oh, come on. The first step is to accept it, man. Oh, dude. And I don't want to get you started. So let me share my screen really quickly. By the way, shout out to Gare. What's up, Gare? Welcome, my friend. I really appreciate you coming back in here. And I miss you, brother. Let me bring up here, and this is application. Yeah. All right. So let me bring this thing up here. And sideways, or not sideways, I mean, aside from the charts, I want to ask you a question. Have your catch has been working weird for you? Like today in the morning, I was, no kidding, 20 minutes clicking tiles of buses and traffic lights. And the thing wouldn't,
really?
Yeah, wouldn't accept me.
So a couple of times it's popped up, but it's working.
Well, nice, man. At this point, I don't even know if I'm a robot anymore. I mean, a human anymore, right? So, but yeah, it was pretty bad, pretty absurdly bad. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of things in here. Let me get started first with Bitcoin. So for that, let me go to home. All right, and very quickly, let's go to my alerts. And on the alerts, oh, by the way, look at that alert on Ethereum. I'm also gonna be going to Ethereum, even if I freaking hate it. And I hate Ethereum because every single time that I set an entry point, it doesn't catch it by this much, guys, like this much. And I'm always going to do like, dude, F this shit. I'm never going to trade it anymore. And then I end up trading it once again. But yeah, it is what it is. So here's Bitcoin really quickly. I do agree with Alex at Crypto. And if you did not saw our analysis yesterday, when we talked about the Wyckoff scenario and then the sideways Wyckoff scenario, this is a less popular or less seen pattern, where instead of having a spring, we have a range. Well, that is the next thing that we could be looking into. Therefore, this is just a little introduction. Therefore, I am looking at 3 spots right here on my chart in Bitcoin. The very first one is dynamic reactor on the 4 hours. All right, dynamic reactor. There we go. I have my how do I expect it moves in here? Not only that, and then bear with me. This is going to get very noisy and loud in a second. But bear with me. There it is. We have a predictive range right down here. We have the golden pocket on our previous range in here based on our indicators. This one right here. All right. The golden one that you see it right in here. This is a very strong support or resistance depending on how the price is acting. We already have talked about the predictive ranges, and not only the predictive ranges, also look at how we perfectly bounce out of the previous monthly high, right? And finally, we have a loud order block, which we bounce from, and we just have just a tiny itty bitty 50-50 soft order block. Why is this important? Because right before getting into a speed bump, you might get to, I don't know how you call them in the States or how you call it in English, you get through vibrators, like street vibrators, right? They put some lines in the street, so your car goes
Rumble strips.
rumble speeds. Thank you, my friend. Oh,
Strips.
strips.
Rumble
Perfect.
strips.
Rumble strips. Thank you, my friend. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. By the way, guys, help me out with my English. If you see I'm saying something wrong, make sure you correct me in the chat. I always appreciate and I want to better my language for you guys. So rumble strips in here, and well, despite they are not like a hard stop, right? They're warning you and then making you through a couple of things. In this case, volume, slow the speed of the drop, right? So that's why this one is important. Despite I don't believe this is gonna be the bouncing point, all right? I believe it's gonna help to lower or slow down the price action for then the volume to catch up and start bouncing back up. Where do I expect the bounce up to play it out? Somewhere in between this box. For the new members in trading, you might be saying, hey, come on, buddy, you're giving me a freaking range between 91 for 100 to 89 300, right? So like, what the hell, right? This is bigger than the Titanic hole. So, well, the point is that you're not looking, or I'm not looking right now at a specific price action. I'm just looking at the possible area. And then as I have more information, I narrow it down till I hit the buy or sell trigger, all right, or the button. Where or how do I get to there? There's a combination of stuff. The very first combination, it is my oscillator. So I want to see, all right, a flip of the ribbon like this, a flip of the ribbon like that, a flip of the ribbon like that, or maybe even a slow flip of the ribbon like this and that, right? So right now we're getting closer. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer, right? And once we're getting very, very, very close, I'm just gonna go and look at what is the closest resistance or support in the chart, and that's when I'm gonna be opening my my long or my short. All right. So that's why I just went into half of the box in here, right? And that half just so happens to be somewhere around there, right? In fact, let me just make it a little bit lower. And by the way, this is how we left out yesterday. So very important. If we create after this bounce, because I believe that we are going to have a bounce, all right? After this bounce, if we have a rejection, most likely we're going to end up breaking. If we don't have a bounce, most likely we are going to have what Alex was mentioning of a spring right down here. So keep your eyes on this shape pattern. And remember your dynamic reactor and maybe this lower height that it doesn't exist so far. But look at that. Things are falling into place because yesterday we did not have this loud order block, right? And then just based on speculation, what kind of a speculation? I was looking at my VRVP to my right. What do I see on my VRVP to my right? I see a huge block, which is ranging, right? And then a small block, which tends to call out for a smart money entry, especially when they are this dramatically different, right? So we don't have a gradual shape or a gradual decrease. We have a dramatic decrease, right? So that tends to tell me that this is where retail, so you and I are going to be fighting over this area. And once we have exhausted our capital, then smart money is going to jump in here and either sell or buy the price action, right? And then based on this soft order block, I believe that we could have that little range. In the meantime, we have that dynamic reactor coming in to rescue the day. So far, this is where we are. Long story short, all right, is it going up or down? So far, I cannot tell you because I don't know the future, and that's something important to understand. But what I can tell you are the two possibilities, right? Right here, we're not trying to see the future. We're trying to be like Doctor Strange, right? From the Avengers. It's not that you know, But if this, then that, and I'm copying that from this story right next to me. So if this, then that, that's something that Alex mentions a lot, and I really like that analogy and pair it to Doctor Strange because, hey, if you do this, this is going to be your result, right? If the price action does this, you already know what's going to happen, or not know, but you speculate to a certain degree, like a 70% chances of that thing playing out. And if you have a 70% chances of something, well, then that is very freakishly close to 100. It's not 100, nothing's 100, all right? But something above 60 in trading is already a freakishly good amount. Of percentages, right? Of possibilities. So we lean into reacting upon that. So I have dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor tends to be like a 60% something, but remember, not because it's a 60% something means that it always going to play it out. And also we need to pair it with something else that give us that rest of closer to 100, if that makes sense. So for example, is just my dynamic reactor is a 60%, and then my oscillator it's another 60%, just so you know, that doesn't add to 120, right? Because they are different metrics. So just bear in mind, all right, that they coexist within the same volume environment, all right? I know this might sound a little bit nerdy. If you just want to keep the simple thing, adding 3 indicators to give you one result, that is the best case scenario. So, long story short, once again, if we bounce out of the dynamic reactor, most likely open up a long, set your stop loss, and then look for this area for a lower high. Take early profits, move your stop to entry, and then let it ride if it rides. And if it doesn't ride and it comes back around, you head switch it. When are you going to head switching it? Once we start breaking our next resistance, which is going to be your dynamic reactor. And of course, most likely, if we reject, we're also going to be rejecting off that 0 line, just like in here. All right. So if this, then that. All right. So it's not right now. We're doing the Doctor Strange scenario, right? What if it bounces? All right. If it bounces, I'm first going to be trying to long the dynamic reactor as soon as I start seeing that flip of the ribbon. All right. If it doesn't bounces, well, then I hold it or even wait for it to break dynamic reactor and bounce off the 0 line for a continuation short where to the next resistance zone, TP number 1, next resistance zone, TP number 2, right? So that's basically it. It's not that the indicators give you they give you what's going to happen, but they give you information that otherwise you wouldn't have, right? For example, if you want to calculate momentum, what do you use to calculate momentum? Yes, of course, you can go ahead and count the candles, but by the end of when you actually do the math yourself, it's already gone. So you just look at your oscillator. Your oscillator give you a threshold of momentum, right? Then one of our secret sauces that I really, 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 really like, it's the power bar, because the power bar, and this is what I really like about this, it is an early indicator. Let me show you, for example, right here, it's bright, all right? And it, like, I'm not kidding, like something like 80% of the time, it rings early, right? Look at that. It ringed in here, and is it telling you that it's a top? No, but that is the freakishly great part of it. It's like the buddy that already played out the game, right? And then you're stuck in there, and then it goes, hey, buddy, watch out. Around this corner, there's a bad guy. Oh, all right, right? So you know it's getting there. It's not telling you how to trade it. It's not telling you how to shoot it. It's not telling you how to avoid it. It's just telling you, you know what? Up in here, here it comes. Heads up, right? So you come in here, you look at your first resistance, your next resistance, your previous top, and that's when you look for you flip at the ribbon reversal, short it, right? Perfect. Comes back up. You have a secondary chance to short it. You short it once again. You have a third chance to short it. You short it once again. But it gives you the heads up, right? So that's why I really like the power bar, because it's always like I don't know, between 80%, around 80% of the time, it's early. And that for me gives me the heads up. All right. So I am right now looking for that early call on my lower bearish bar. Why? Because when that rings, I'm going to be looking once again at the support, the closest support area, and then longing that, not to Valhalla, but to the next resistance. And rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? Let's go and take a look at a couple of other things. I talked about render. I already have to give you the spoiler here, but let's go and take a look at the 4th hour, which is the one that I was looking at. We have a breakout of this trend line. I already have opened up a short at the candle close. In fact, just a little bit after the candle close. And, well, we have breakout retest. And despite we're bullish, we are heading to that zero line. I have a small percentage chance right here that I bounce off the zero line, which means I could be doing this. All right. In fact, you can see that I already have factored that possibility in. Does that is going to scare me out? Yes, a little bit. So what should I be doing? Instead of just acting upon being scared, I'm going to act upon first, what do I have in front of my face? A top, a lower high, the first possibility of a lower low, and that's what I'm trying to profit on. Right? Where are my support and resistances? Let's bring them up. All right. And look at where I have my next support. Yes, I have an R1 weighted line in here. Yes, I know the possibility, but the heavy stuff, it's right down here. So how am I going to be acting upon this? Remember, if this, then that. So if this thing turns around me, that's why I have my stop loss. And then I'm going to be looking for the next movement to the downside. I can also be looking for this flip of the ribbon. And whenever that flip of the ribbon is, longing it to the previous or to the previous resistance. All right. So, guys, being a trader is having the ability to change your mind fast, but not too fast, if that makes sense. That's why it's not that we're looking into the future, but we are analyzing what could be happening from now on. It only can go two ways, up or down, man. Right? So when is going to be your triggering point for it to go up? Execute a long. Set your stop loss. All right. And then when you execute a short, where's going to be your threshold point? Well, then you just go ahead and do it. All right. So my plan right now is looking for a short, going for the heavy support somewhere around here. Also, if we take a look at the bigger picture, and that's where daily comes in. All right. But before I go to daily, let me show you. Look at this price action in here. I mean, that's a newbie trader dreams, right? That only up only, right? In almost no drawdown, you take it at the bottom and then you ride it all the way up, right? But that also creates instability or fair value gaps. All right. Let's not dive within what is a fair value gap, neither how to measure it, but you have a special tool that measures for you. And come the F up. Here is regression trend. So I'm going to just click here and there, and that gives me a channel. This is a free tool, by the way, if you want to add it. And when we start breaking through, that is the first measuring point where we're losing that micro trend, quote unquote micro. All right. And what is the half between the top and the bottom? It is right here. Fair value gaps usually tells you, right, that we reject all the way to 50% in here. Do I know this is a fair value gap? Actually, I could just measure right here with the next support. That will give me a little bit lower. So I'm being a little bit pessimist or optimist, however you want to look at it, and aiming just a little bit higher, right? So I like a 33% retracement, and then I like a 50% retracement. This is a little bit more into personal retracement. If you start looking what plays out, for me, 33, then 50. So if I'm looking for that 33% retracement, let's actually measure that from the top right now that we're going lower. And that 33, come on. Ooh, that's way much more than I was expecting. And no, I'm doing it wrong. Sorry, man. Sorry. The 33% retracement, I just flinched in here. This is 50, 25, 33, somewhere around here. And guess what is it right here? That retracement that also lays up with our next support and resistance with that order block, right? You see how the pieces start falling in place. So one backed up the other one. So let's go to daily. And we have, look at that, a fair value gap right here because we basically were from top to top to top to top to, and this is where we're having that retracement. What is it? 33% retracement. Once again, somewhere around here. What is our resistance? Dynamic reactor. Do we have a flip of the ribbon? Almost. This looks like a goose head. What does a goose head means? Remember, we have two possibilities. Goose head means further move to the upside and then a retracement. So if I get stopped out in here, I'm going to be looking back on what it does, my oscillator, and if it stay above, I'm going to be longing it as it bounces back up. And if it rolls back down, I'm going to be shorting it all the way to the downside in here. So far, I'm into a short on render. I also am looking at RTX, looking at Solana. By the way, I am into a short on Solana too. And Ethereum, I am in a in a long on Ethereum. Why am I into a long of Ethereum? Well, we are bouncing off, but at this point I already have two shorts, and not just to be against the trend, right? But I'm seeing much more support on my on Ethereum that I see on the rest of the indicators. Look at this, is 58 to 42, very close to 50, but that means that we could maybe create a double top, and that's what I'm aiming for, all right? So I know it's a little messy, but let me clear this up for you guys. Right, and make it bigger. There we go. So we have an order block and a previous monthly low in here. Sorry, monthly high. That's why I'm aiming for maybe a little breakout retest. So this is what I'm trying to profit on that long. All right. And if it fails, it's going to go all the way down. I'm going to be looking for a long, and then I'm going to be looking for a short in here. You see how I'm doing the Doctor Strange stuff? So if it gets here, I'm longing. If it gets here, I'm shorting, right? So that is the plan on Ethereum. And that's so far what I got. I haven't been trading that much. And that's because of what could be happening with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes, everything goes. If Bitcoin falls, everything falls. So far, we're about to finish the class. Alex, anything else that you're looking at, or would you like to close the class with something?
Yeah, I think like what you need to realize is there's some good stuff going on here. Like the Nasdaq's rallying really good today. S&P 500 hitting all-time highs. We haven't seen that rotation into small caps, but the Russell is right there ready to break out too. So, and it has V-shaped recovered today. So a big push up yesterday, V-shaped recovery today, getting back into the range. So it might be a little bit of a bullish catalyst. So be aware of that. We might be seeing some bottoming structure soon, and might be some good opportunities for some swing longs. But like I said, you want confirmation on like at least a 15-minute time frame, and look for that rotation back up. Everybody's coming back into the market. Like I've seen it even on my YouTube views and stuff like that. So like just be prepared for like, shakeouts as well. So like they've done a really good job this week of like making you feel we're bullish and then dumping it on your head, right? So just be aware of that sentiment. Watch the FOMO, trade the setups, be patient. That's typically my advice. But other than that, it's looking decent. But when it looks decent, we need to be as cautious as possible, right? When we look at any of the macro charts, like here's the Russell, it's trying to break out here, looking for this bullish close out and onward, right? This is the risk curve, right? But look at the S&P all-time highs, right? Ripping today, all-time highs. NQ all-time highs, right? So unfortunately, crypto's last, right? But also, you look at crypto, you can say whatever you want to say. Why do you think OC is shorting render? Because render's up 100% fucking off the low, right? That's why we're in crypto, right? So be aware, right? Be aware, manage risk. I like a red day after we've bullishly pushed, right? Red days tell me that this is a healthy push. We're correcting and we're looking for continuation, potentially. We're looking for the rotation, right? So what is good is that Bitcoin can go fucking sideways as much as it wants, man. It can do this all day. But if we're going to see the rotation down the risk curve into altcoins, well, we'll make money on alts, right? It's just being prepared. Bitcoin dominance is rotating down, coming into its comfort zone right now. So we'll see how it behaves. But be patient. Don't FOMO. There's going to be lots of opportunities, I think, coming up. So thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good times.
Absolutely. You heard it here first, guys. Bitcoin is going to zero. Not just kidding. But other than that, have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year's. Happy Merry Christmas if I never sent you the Merry Christmas. And we appreciate you a lot. Thank you for choosing Chart Prime. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.